Next Gear is a fast-paced, open-world hoverboard racing game. Now, before I get into the more devloggy part of this video, I'm going to talk about the inspiration of this project and the gap I feel I need to fill. Sonic Riders was a huge part of my childhood, and to this day I don't know of any other game like it. Even its sequels fail to achieve what made it so unique. If you've ever seen a retrospective video about this game, they all seem to say the same thing. What makes the original Sonic Riders so satisfying and fun to play is the skill ceiling. Its sequel Zero Gravity removed a lot of the complexity from the mechanics and, as a consequence, a lot of the fun. My aim is to capture what made Sonic Riders so fun to play, but adapt it to work in an open world setting. If you've taken an interest in this project, then don't forget to subscribe to be notified of future updates. Now let's get on to the mechanics that I've currently got working in my prototype. Okay, let's start with the basic character movement. So I've got a standard idle walk run here, and as you can see the hoverboard sticks to the character's route for the time being. That's because I'm using the default Unreal animations, and it doesn't account for the bone that's in the hoverboard. Now, if I press Y, I'll go onto the hoverboard and go into what I'm calling first gear right now, which I can move about, and then if I hold RT, I move about. I refer to this as the control gear, and then if I change up to second gear, it will hold a default basic speed, and then if I hold the trigger, I move forward like this, and I've got a bit more dynamic on the leans when it comes to the blend space animations. And then the next thing is if I press X, I go into boost speed, and then it gets even more dynamic. And then if I hold a direction, it will bleed some speed off and then give a bit more angle. Next, I thought I should go into a bit more detail about how the grind rails work. So if I just hit this rail with a sort of regular amount of speed, with the camera now bugging out in a way that I've not seen before, that's cool. You could see that it did the rail at a set speed, went from A to B. But now, if I approach it with a bit more speed, you'll see that it does the rail a bit more quickly. But what it actually does is it takes your current speed, and then it gives it a grind rail speed based on that, and then it will interpolate back down to the standard speed. My thinking with this is that I can reward players that maintain momentum, thus keeping the skill ceiling, but also slow them down enough at the end of the rail so that it maintains control. My grind rails are built using splines. So if I grab my grind rail here and then just start dragging a new rail out, you'll see that I can just drag the rail into any sort of shape that I want, really, and then my character is just able to grind on this rail that I've made. My ramps have a bit of complexity to them. The way they work is that they get the distance along the ramp, the speed you're going, and how much you've charged your jump. And all of these values get clamped between 0 and 1. Then they're added together, and then that again is clamped between 0 and 1, and that will give me a launch strength, which will then be thrown into a launch character node. So basically what happens using all of these variables is the more you've charged your jump, the higher and further you go, the faster you're going, the higher and further you go. But the most important one is your distance along the ramp. I've weighted it so that is the most important variable. So the closer to the end of the ramp you are when you release jump, the better your jump will be. Now let's go over the next steps for the project. The immediate next step is to develop trick mode now that the ramps are in. Once you've launched off the ramp, I want the character to be able to enter trick mode, do cool flips and stuff. I also want to revise the grind rails a little bit. I want to add a bit more feel to them and fix some of the general bugginess. Something I'm looking forward to getting on with eventually, though, is making the proper version of the character and doing all the animations for that, just to make the game feel good. I would like to do Q&A sections at the end of these devlogs, so if you do have any questions, I can get around to answering them at the end of the next devlog. Pop those in the comments below. With all that said and done, I hope to see you all next time.